Thank you so much for joining today. Let's start today by coming into a comfortable seated position. And that can be any easy, comfortable position for you where your spine is straight. You're welcome to maybe bring a block under the hips. You can sit on your legs or maybe do a crisscross applesauce if that feels better for you. We'll sit up tall through the spine. We'll allow our shoulders to relax and even our hands to rest on our lap. I invite you to close your eyes or maybe to simply soften your gaze as we start to take an intentional, long breath, allowing it to be a little bit deeper with each inhale and a little bit more prolonged and exhale. We'll take a moment to simply notice where our body is touching a surface, whether it's a floor, prop, a wall. We'll feel the support of those surfaces. And we'll take a quick moment to scan the body, noticing if you feel any sensations, any tweaks or twinges, any aches or pains, and any sensation, big or small, that's flowing in your body at this moment, be it an emotion or a story or anything else. And as we settle into that lengthened breath, we'll allow our body to grow heavier with each exhale. On cloudy days, we can't see the sun, but we know it's shining on the other side of the clouds. Sometimes we can't feel the sun, but knowing it's there might bring us a little bit of peace. This knowing is the same with joy. Sometimes in the present moment, we are overwhelmed with our difficulties, and joy can seem far away. But we can remember that even if we can't see it or feel it, joy is still there. Proof of this is in those moments when you've had a rough day and you start to cry and then laugh for no reason. Or you're so stressed out, then a piece of music comes on and you find that it lifts your spirits, makes you feel lighter. Joy is always there. We just have to find it, look for it. So as we continue our slow, steady breathing, take a moment to sense what difficulties have been weighing on your heart today or this week or month. And see if you can open your awareness and know that joy is also there. We'll then start to get into our breathing exercise for today. This particular breathing exercise is called the laughing breath. and can feel a little self-conscious to some when you first begin. At any point that seems to be the case for you, you're welcome to simply imagine the breath in your mind. But if you feel like playing along, you're welcome to join at any point. We'll take this breath for about 3 to 5 rounds. I'll demonstrate it to begin, and then join whenever you feel like it would feel like a great option of a breath for you. This laughing breath cultivates a little bit of joy in the moment. It can even bring out your inner child. It can help you let go of things that are stressing you out, and can promote optimism and positivity. We'll inhale deeply, really expanding our lungs. And as we exhale in a combination of quick bursts of air that come out, maybe even a little bit of vocal laughter mixed in. Sometimes with this breath, you feel like you have to fake it even. Or maybe the laughter is so infectious, you feel like joining in without even thinking. Then allow ourselves to sink back into our natural breath. Noticing any sensations, maybe a little curling of the lips into a little smile. Joy can be found in the most unexpected things and ways. This reminds me of a time I went to a farmer's market with a friend. And as we walked up to a table piled high with loose green beans, we looked at the table and then at each other and broke out in a laugh. It was so infectious of a laugh that soon a lady we didn't know walked up to the table as well, and she burst out laughing. No one could explain why we thought the beans were funny, but the fact that it made me, my friend, and this complete stranger laugh for no reason at all shows us that joy really is just under the surface. Joy finds us in our most intimate moments, and it reminds us of her importance. So as we move through not only our practice today, maybe through our night and our week ahead, notice when joy finds you. Perhaps it's in a piece of music, the smile of a stranger, when the sun comes out after a chilly weekend, or even a table of piled green beans. We'll take one last breath here, offering ourselves a little bit of gratitude. And then as you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. We'll flutter the eyes open And then let's add some physical movement into our practice. And we'll come off of our seated positions to come into a child's pose, bringing our knees maybe wide and starting to send our arms out long. For the first breath, allow your elbows to sink down towards the mat, finding a nice relaxing breath here. And then with your next inhale, begin to tense the fingertips as you draw the elbows away from the ground and start to feel this a little bit more through the shoulders and the spine. Great job. With our next inhale, drag your hands back under your shoulders, come up to your tabletop, and then we'll start to drop our belly as we lift our gaze in cow pose. Exhale to round your chin to chest, curling tailbone under, pushing the ground away from you. And then take this at your own pace. Inhaling to open, exhaling to round. We'll take this for just a few cycles of breath on your own. Great job. We'll go ahead and come back through our tabletop. And then let's drop our elbows right where our hands just were. Keep your hands parallel, or you can bring your hands to interlace into more of a triangular shape of the arms. From here, we're going to walk the knees back, keeping the hips high as we come into a puppy pose, taking that stretch even more through the sides of the body, through the armpits, the shoulders. Beautiful job. With our inhale, we find ourselves coming back to our tabletop. And then begin to tuck the toes. Maybe move the hands a little bit forward. As we come into a downward facing dog, we'll begin to lift the knees. We'll pedal through the legs. We'll press into the hands, lengthening through the spine. It's really starting to warm everything up here. And then we'll find a little bit of stillness, straightening the legs a little or a lot, pressing into the hands to really lengthen through the back of the spine. And then we're going to take a wave as we come through to a plank or a half plank. Rounding through the spine, we keep our shoulders over our wrists. We're going to hold it for just a moment. And then as we exhale, start to lower yourself down to the mat. Slide the hands back towards under the shoulders, flip to the top of the feet. And as we inhale, we're going to press up to a cobra. And then exhale to release. Maybe take a few rolling cobras in here. Inhaling up, exhaling down, noticing how the body feels. Move through the spine in this way. Great job. All right, with our next exhale, we're going to bring our hands in front of us, make a pillow with our hands, and then either rest our forehead or flip over to one side and let your ear come to rest on your pillow made of your hands. We're then going to take our knees as wide as our mat, just like in that child's pose, but then start to bring the heels towards each other. So if we were on our back, we'd be in a butterfly pose. And see what it feels like to draw your heels in towards your hips. And then with our next inhale, we're gonna straighten the legs, keeping the feet together and lengthen them behind us. Exhale, bring it back in. And we're gonna find this movement on our own. So as you inhale, draw the heels towards your hips, widen the knees. And as you exhale, lengthen and point the toes away. Try to keep the feet together as much as possible. It's okay if they come apart, but explore what it feels like through the spine, the lower back, the glutes, the hips. Great job. Last time. And then from our upside down butterfly, we'll begin to press into our hands, coming back into our tabletop. Feel free to take any movement your body might need. And then let's walk our tabletop to the back of our space. We're going to take what's called a pigeon crawl here. So in pigeon pose, we draw our knee up towards our same wrist and then slide the foot over to the other side. That's very similar in the pigeon crawl, except for then we're going to hook it in front of the other knee. We'll then take the other leg, bring it up by that wrist, and then hook it behind that, in front of that knee. We'll take this the entire length of our mat. You're always welcome to bring blocks under the hands to make a little bit more space for your body as you move through. You can go fast or slow, but notice how it feels through the hips and glutes. Once you reach the front of your mat, we'll reverse our pigeon crawl, taking it backwards. Great job. When you end up back at your tabletop at the back of your space, go ahead and move back into tabletop at the center of your space. Great job. From here, let's go ahead and pull ourselves forward. You can stay on your knees or begin to lift those knees into your plank or half plank. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the 1, we're going to start to lift the hips into downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Paddle through. You're doing a great job. Alrighty, go ahead and find a little bit of stillness and then step your feet in just one footprint. So your downward dog has a very short stance to it. We're then going to take that right hand. We're going to bring it over to the left hip or anywhere down the left leg, down to the ankle. So wherever feels good for you, begin to look out under your left arm here as you take a twist through the body. Great job. Exhale the release into your short stance downward dog, and then take the left hand over towards the right leg. And twist underneath. Beautiful job. Come back through to your downward dog. And then look back at your feet and start to walk your hands back towards your feet as you come into your first standing forward fold. We'll allow our hands to relax either on the floor or prop our legs, or maybe we grab opposite elbows as we start to sway a little side to side in a rag doll. You can move your head, you can move your jaw. Feel free to take any movement here. Great job. With our next inhale, we're going to release our hands back to their previous location if we took opposite elbows, and then we'll press into them to lift halfway. Figure 7. Exhale to hinge and fold. And then bend the knees, sink the hips, and take a slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Circling arms up and overhead into tall mountain. Reach it up, really up. And then let's grab our right wrist with our left hand and start to lean over to the left. Another option for you to bring your hand to your left hip as you lean over to the left. Great job. Inhale through center. We'll switch the grip of our hands, whichever variation we're choosing, and then begin to lean to the right. Beautiful. Exhale back through center and then into a cactus pose. Beautiful job. Inhale, tall mountain. And as we exhale, we're going to come down in our forward fold, slicing it through a prayer as we hinge into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain. This time we're going to drop the right hand down behind the spine and head. You can grab opposite hand, opposite wrist, opposite elbow, or maybe grab a strap and place it in between your hands. We're going to work to draw our right elbow up towards the sky as we draw our left elbow down, wherever we're at. Inhale back through center. We're going to switch it by dropping the right hand behind the head. And then as you're ready, start to lean over towards the right. Beautiful. Come back through center. Exhale, rain it down. We're going to bend the knees really deeply. We're going to step it back to a plank or a half plank of our choice. And then on our exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. We're then going to slide our hands forward into a Sphinx pose, pulling our heart forward, lifting our gaze up to the horizon, squeezing our shoulder blades back. Beautiful. From here, let's start to bring a bend into that right knee, coming into a half frog pose. Or, yeah, I think it's half frog pose. We're going to bend that knee at a 90-ish degree angle from the hip and at the knee, and flex through the foot. Beautiful job. And then just to explore a little bit of this hip, we're going to start to lift our foot, leaving our knee on the ground, and then lower it. And just take that a couple of times. Rotating through that hip joint. Beautiful job. All right, go ahead and extend that leg out long. Take the 90-ish degree bend in the other leg. Notice if this side feels any different from the other side. And then lift the foot. Exhale to lower it. Take it at your own pace. Beautiful job. Last time. Send that leg long. Great job. We're going to leave our arms just like they are. Their elbows and arms. Elbows on the ground and arms parallel, or if you prefer to have those fingers interlaced with the triangle, you're welcome for that. We'll start to come up onto our knees first, like in a puppy pose. And then you can either choose to stay in the puppy pose variation, where you can start to lift the knees and the hips coming into dolphin. Either way, noticing how it feels through the shoulders here. Through the back, you're doing great. And then as we exhale, the knees are lifted, go ahead and drop them. And if you took puppy pose, walk the knees back in towards your tabletop. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders. And then let's take the right leg behind us. Send the leg long, point the toes away from you. And then as you inhale, bend the knee and then open the hip like a three-legged dog almost. Great job. Bring it back to 3, sending the leg out long behind you. And then curl the knee in towards your nose, rounding through your spine as we step it through for a low rounded lunge. Now we're going to be on the knees for just a few moments, so you're always welcome to add extra cushioning. You can start to bring your hips forward and down. You can keep your hands on the floor or on the prop. You can bring it up to your front knee. Maybe you even bring your hands to your heart. Or maybe you lift your arms up and overhead in a crescent lunge. Great job. With our next exhale, we're going to take the same hand as our back leg. We're going to pull it forward, scoop it down by our hip, and then reach it back, twisting towards that back leg. Now you don't actually have to touch the leg. We're just pointing our hand towards it. Beautiful. Bring it back into your crescent lunge of choice. And then with our next exhale, we're going to circle the hands down. We're going to shift the hips back, straighten through that front leg for your half runner's lunge or half runner's stretch. And then with an exhale, hinge over that front leg. Great job. Inhale, halfway lift the spine. We're then going to take the opposite hand from that front leg, the one we just pointed back, and we're going to bring it over towards our extended leg. Now you can reach anywhere from the knee down to the foot that feels good for you as we take it into a twist over that extended leg. Your opposite hand can rest on the floor or maybe a prop. Great job. Inhale, come back through your lunge, bending the knee deeply. And then we're going to keep that opposite hand on the floor as we twist the same hand as the front leg up towards the ceiling, opening up. And then as you exhale, start to point that hand towards the leg behind you. And you can keep your leg pointed long, or you could start to bend the knee, maybe capturing the foot, but it's not necessary to capture the foot. Great job. Exhale to release low lunge. And then let's move back into our tabletop. And we'll take that sequence on the other side. So we send the opposite leg out long. Point the toes away from you. Bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, send it long, point the toes away from you. Inhale, bring it forward, meet the nose and hover, and then step it through in your own time. Setting up for crescent lunge on this side. You're doing a beautiful job here. We're going to take that same hand as our back leg. We're going to pull it forward. We're going to cycle it down towards the ground and then twist open so we can point towards that back foot. Great job. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, frame the front foot with your hands. Half runner's lunge, straightening the leg, pulling the toes back, hinging forward on your exhale. Inhale to lengthen the spine. I'm going to take that twist. So opposite hand from the front leg comes anywhere along the leg that feels good for you. And then the same hand as the front leg twists out to that side. Great job. Exhale to come back through your lunge. Dropping opposite hand from the front leg and start to twist that front, same hand as the front leg up towards the ceiling. Twisting it out here in a lizard lunge. And then maybe allowing that hand to circle down back towards your back leg. Maybe bending the knee and capturing the foot, but it's not necessary. Beautiful job. Come back through center. And shift the weight into tabletop. Beautiful job. From here, let's find our downward dog. We're gonna look up towards our hands and take a few gentle steps as we make our way into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain. And with our exhale, we're gonna sink into a chair pose, bending into our knees, sinking into our hips. We can keep our hands high. We can bring them to chest level. We can even come to a prayer if that feels better for us. Now, at any point in our chair, we can come out and come back in, making sure we're listening to the energy level of our bodies today. And then let's take a twist to the right. You can either take one hand to your knee and one behind you, or you can come into a prayer twist if that's part of your practice, hooking your elbow outside of your knee. Inhale back through prayer, or through chair, and then exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale back through chair, sink it a little bit deeper. Exhale, fold to release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees deeply, plant the hands, step it back into your tabletop. And then from our tabletop, we're going to bring our right hand directly under our face, turn the right foot over to the right side, and then begin to send that left leg out long. Begin to stack wrist and shoulders as we come into a side plank here. Beautiful job. Now you can either keep your top leg grounded or explore what it might feel like to lift it up a little or a lot. Holding it there. Beautiful job. Exhale to release the foot if it's lifted. Come through tabletop. As we come to the other side, left hand comes to the center of your space. Left foot turns to the side as you extend to that right arm. Right leg, holding there. Maybe lifting that foot and pointing the toe away from you. You're doing great. One more breath here. Exhale to release to tabletop. Great job. With our exhale, we'll let our torso come down towards the floor. We'll take our hands back by our hips, palms face down. And as we inhale, We'll come up to a cobra pose, maybe even lifting the hands off the mat, an airplane cobra. Beautiful job. Exhale to release. And inhale, we push up to a downward dog. You can come through a plank or a tabletop or come directly to your downward dog. Beautiful. Look up between your hands. Maybe you take a walk or a hop into your core work. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, bring it down through a prayer. Beautiful job today. All righty, let's take our left foot. We're going to step it back for a warrior one. So the toes are going to be out to the side, the heel back towards the center of your space. We're going to bend deeply into that front knee and turn our hips to face the same direction. Maybe hands come to a prayer, or maybe they come up high into the air. And then with our exhale, let's take our hands out wide to a T. And we're going to come into an eagle arm variation. So feel free to grab your strap if you like using your strap. We'll take those arms wide at first, and then we'll take our right arm under our left arm. You can hug your shoulders and walk your fingertips up the sides. You could start to bring the backs of hands together or the fronts of hands together. Or again, maybe there's that strap in between your arms. Being mindful not to lose your warrior one, bending deeply into that front leg. You're doing a great job. Beautiful. Unwind the arms, warrior one. And then as we exhale, we're going to circle our hands to frame the front foot, either on the floor or on blocks, and then begin to lift the back leg a little or a lot as we come into a grounded warrior three. Keep a nice generous bend in your standing leg. And then start to explore what it might feel like to bend the knee and bring your heel towards your hip. And then send the leg long behind you, pointing it away. Take this at your own pace. Great job. Send that leg long. Exhale, bring it down into your forward fold. Inhale, slow rise up to standing, tall mountain. Exhale, bring it down through a prayer. So we can take that sequence on the other side. So we start with our warrior one, stepping that right foot back, bending deeply into that right left knee. Maybe inhale, arms up and overhead. Make sure your thighs are pulling towards each other. Your core is engaged. Exhale, arms come to a T. Then the left arm comes under the right as we find our eagle arm variation of choice. Really notice those shoulder blades pulling apart here. You're doing a beautiful job. One more breath. Sink it in a little bit lower. Beautiful. Inhale, warrior one. Unwinding the arms. Exhale, we circle the hands to frame the front foot and begin to lift that back toes off of the mat a little or a lot in our grounded warrior three. Point the toes away from you and then cinch it in towards your hip. Take it with your breath. Last time. Send it out long. Exhale to release the foot next to your other one. You're in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall mountain, reach it all the way up. And then we're going to take our feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. And as we exhale, we're going to sink it into our squat. Now start with a shallow squat first. Maybe take a little bit of movement so you can settle in here, feeling it in your body. Maybe play with your feet, lifting heels or toes. And then you're welcome to stay here, or maybe sink it in a little deeper to a deep squat. Feel your breath here. You're doing great. So we exhale, we bring our hands down, and then we come down into a seat. We'll move any props out of our way that we don't need. We'll come on to our hips, and then let's roll down into a ball, hugging our knees in towards our torso. Take a few rocks from side to side or along the spine. And then allow the feet to come down to the mat in a constructive rest. We'll then take the right leg, we'll cross it over the left leg, flex through the right ankle and the left ankle, and let the right knee fall out to the right side. Now you're welcome to stay here with the knee bent. You could explore sending the legs long and feeling what that feels like. Or you could explore lifting that left leg off the floor and threading the hands around your shin or your thigh. Wherever you're at, keep your neck long by tucking your chin. Allow your shoulders to sink down towards the mat. Do you notice this opening in your right hip? Exhale to release. Coming back through your constructive rest figure 4. And then set that right foot down. And let's switch sides, bringing the left foot over, letting the knee open up, flexing through that left ankle. And then all the same options are available. As you either extend the leg long, you stay in the constructive rest variation, or you start to lift the foot up towards the ceiling and wrap your hand around your thigh or your shin. Beautiful. Let's exhale to release to constructive rest. Feet a little bit wider than hip distance this time. And then begin to windshield wiper the knees left to right. Now, the next time the knees are to the right, go ahead and pause there. If you want, you can keep your legs staggered. You could hook the bottom foot over the top knee. You could bring those knees to stack or add a prop in between the knees or under the knees or anything else that feels good. Go ahead and keep those shoulders flat. Maybe bring your body to a cactus or a T in the upper body as you really settle in here. Allow your body to grow heavier. We'll start to scan the body just like we did at the beginning of class, but this time we're noticing the subtle changes that we found throughout our practice. Maybe even taking a moment to reflect on any joy that came up during today's practice. As you inhale, bring knees back through center, and then we'll let them fall to the opposite side. And any adjustments you made on the other side, you're welcome to make on this side, or change it up depending on the side's needs. Sink back into that slow breath. Maybe closing the eyes. And allow yourself to grow heavier with each exhale. Your inhales lengthening. Your exhales deepening till every last bit of air has left your body before your next inhale. Come back through center. As we inhale, we'll bring both knees in towards our chest. We'll let our hands rest on our knees, and then let's take some circles in our lower back by moving the knees in one direction together. And then reverse that. And then we're going to start to let the knees go in opposite directions. Allowing all that hip and glute work we did today to unwind a little bit and then reverse it. Our next inhale brings our knees back towards our chest. We'll curl our forehead up towards our knees and we'll start creating a little tension, squeezing the hands, squeezing the feet, squeezing every muscle you can control until there's so much contraction in your body. You can't contract anything else. And then explode out into a full body stretch, taking up as much space as you can. Spreading through fingers and toes. And with a great big exhale, maybe even a sigh as you do, we'll allow ourselves to come into our final resting pose. Knowing that we can make any adjustments here from adding pillows or props or socks. You can take legs up the wall here, or corpse pose, or constructive rest. It's really all up to you and what feels good in this moment. As you settle in, once again, maybe you close your eyes or you simply soften the gaze. You find resting stillness, whatever that means for you, even if gentle movement is part of that. Well, once again, take a moment to focus on finding joy, cultivating positive energy. We'll start by taking a few slow, deep breaths. And as you exhale, see if you can release any tension that you're holding on to. Just like when we started class, we'll begin to feel the ground that supports us. Noticing the parts of your body that are touching the surfaces beneath you. And as you feel the support of the earth beneath your bones, allow any stress or tension to flow out of you and sink into that ground beneath you. Grounding, centering yourself here, today, in this moment. We'll start to bring our awareness through each part of our body, starting with our toes. Noticing if we're holding on to any tension or sensations. Maybe purposefully relaxing the muscles of the toes on your exhale. And then drawing your awareness into your feet and ankles. Noticing the sensations, the tension, and then purposefully exhaling to soften them. We'll draw the awareness into the legs and the hips, noticing what there is to notice and allowing the muscles to grow heavier with your purposeful exhale. Drawing our awareness into our abdomen and torso, our shoulders. We allow the weight of our body to sink into the floor beneath us as we soften here. Releasing anything that needs to be released. We draw the attention down our arms and into our hands. We'll exhale and purposefully allow the muscles to slacken, relaxing. As we draw our attention through the neck, jaw, face, all the way up to the crown of our head. Noticing what there is to notice and seeing what and how we can relax the muscles just a little bit more. Now begin to shift your focus back to the breath itself. Observe your natural breath without trying to change it. Notice the rise and the fall of your torso, and maybe the sensation of the breath entering or leaving your bodies. As you settle into your breath, see if you can let go of any negative emotions or thoughts. And with each exhale, draw your awareness back to your breath as you release the worries or stress that may have been carrying these last few moments, days, or weeks. Now, as we bring our attention to the idea of joy, I invite you to visualize a place or a moment where you felt pure joy. It could be a memory, a place, or even a simple experience. But see if you can immerse yourself in the feeling that that moment brought to you. That feeling of joy. And allow that feeling to permeate throughout your entire body. Joy doesn't always come from seeking. Oftentimes, the harder we seek joy, the more it eludes us. And other times, joy finds us in those unexpected moments. But when we open ourselves to joy, we naturally allow it to flow into our lives without force. Today we'll end our practice with a positive affirmation to invite more joy into our daily lives. You're always welcome to use any affirmation, any phrase or words that connect with you. Or maybe repeating after me. I am open to the joy that surrounds me. I attract positivity and happiness into my life. I am open to the joy that surrounds me. I attract positivity and happiness into my life. I feel gratitude today that you spent time with me here on this mat and opened yourself to the opportunity to cultivate more joy. Maybe making an intention to carry the sense of joy with you off of the mat into your evening or your day or your week. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far as we slowly start to bring our awareness back into the room that surrounds us. Maybe we wiggle fingers and toes, or take any stretches as is in your own time, in your own way. You start to make it up to an upright position facing me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Thank you.